Right, guys, we got a few things happening over the past few days that are a bit worrying and actually downright stupid. But then again, that's commonplace in 2021. The BBC are now reporting that the government is going to go around door to door testing people for some South African variant or some shit like that. As we have seen reported by the media, cases are actually dropping according to their own statistics, so now they've decided it's a good idea to roll around going door to door in the southeast testing people. Anyone could think they are trying to find more cases or something. Either way, I would say this is a slippery slope to be on, which is saying something for the year that we have had, because the BBC are reporting on this knocking on doors bullshit literally within the last hour or so. It's only a short article and it doesn't even state it word for word in there, but when you share it on Twitter, you can literally see what they mean. Door-to-door testing is coming. Now, seeing this, I sat there and asked myself when the people of this country voted for the Chinese Communist Party's policy involving the government coming round and trying to test you for an illness. That is some seriously fucked up shit. I know they have been trying to copy China, as of most countries around the world, but this is just getting beyond the joke. Where the actual fuck are the human rights lawyers on this one? Too busy moaning at the government in relation to illegal immigrants' living conditions, no doubt. But I expect this is what Matt Hancock is coming out later on to tell us in his press conference. At this point, it really wouldn't surprise me if they make it law that you have to do these tests, with the police forcing their way into your home, as we have seen them do many times already in this shit show. The police in 2021, it seems, are over-enthusiastic about being the brown shirts of Boris Johnson and Matt Hancock, so anything is possible at this point. I myself would be ignoring the door or telling them to fuck off, that is for sure. I will tell you something, this is some blatant government overreach going on here. At the moment, it's only happening in the southeast, but I would advise you get onto your MPs and let them know that you do not agree with this bullshit. It should certainly look suspicious to anyone as to why they would be doing this now when cases are starting to drop. And you may also think, oh, it's alright, it's only happening in the southeast, it won't happen here. You can guarantee if they're doing it down here, it won't be long before they're doing it where you live. And obviously, if you live in one of the devolved administrations, then you can expect it to be 10 times worse than what Boris Johnson is actually doing. They always like to try and one-up him, as we know. Obviously, if people want to go and get tested, then that's entirely down to them, but you certainly shouldn't be banging on people's doors trying to force it on them. Even if they ain't forcing it, at the end of the day, just showing up is like coercive control. It's putting pressure on people who might not have wanted one otherwise, but will feel pressurized if someone's at their door. This country is becoming an absolute clown world run by the government, or should we say, destroyed by the government at this point. None of what they're doing is conservative, and none of what they're doing is going to help the country. Let me tell you that right now. How many countless billions have they wasted on different things over the past year that have not worked or were never going to work in the first place, because obviously it was flawed from the start. We also have to remember that Matt Hancock wants to give the police all the data from the test and trace system, which, let's be honest, is not worth a wet wank on a Sunday morning. But either way, the police shouldn't be having access to your fucking data. It doesn't matter what anyone says on that. Unless you're a criminal and have broke the law, then they shouldn't even have anything to do with you. Anyone who thinks any different to that, I'm sorry to say, you're a fucking idiot. But I should add, ever since around 2010, the police have been able to apparently scan NHS data under a counter-terrorism law. So actually, I don't know how much data they will get from having access to the test and trace system, but once again, it doesn't really matter. It's not something they should have. We are in a slippery slope, as I've said already, and if you ask me, we might as well call this country the United Kingdom of China at this point.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors, slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires, and that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going, and we are glad to be going. We're off.